Merry me lovelies, I am Witchy Dantera, and you are tuning in for another exhilarating installment of my tarot review. Today you won't see me on camera because I will try to make this one faster than my first tarot reveal video because I don't want to bore you. So let's get started. Let's go this way. So the first deck I will show you today is the Nicoletta Seesole. And please, if I totally screw up on the pronunciation of these decks, please forgive me. I have a speech impediment or something, who knows. Anywho, the Nicoletta Seesole Tarot, I believe the particular artist and creator of this deck is Italian. As with many tarot decks, it's a little flimsy paper book with very simple descriptions about each of the cards. So for me, when I get a tarot deck that has the little paper booklets, I feel that the deck is more heavily relied on my intuition and my feeling for the card itself than necessarily the description of the card that comes with the book. So this is the back of the deck. It's very beautiful, very green and earthy. A little bit, it kind of reminds me of Christmas with the wreath and the holly berries. So, these are the artwork. I like the Nicoletta deck because it is very fantasy. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland falls through the rabbit hole into a totally different reality where everything is distorted and not what you expect it to be. I'm particular about my artwork for my decks. I like that they're unusual. I like when the artwork is bright and shiny, and then on the total opposite scale, I also like it when it's more Tim Burton style, more twisted, more not necessarily nightmarish, but just the reality is altered and distorted and twisted. I like those kind of artwork because I am unusual and twisted. For this particular deck, I think I've read from it like once or twice, and it was pretty accurate to the question that I asked. I don't usually work with this deck that often because I feel more drawn to this deck when my reality seems to be fluctuating, when things are a little not clear. Something I'm supposed to figure out, something I'm supposed to see, but it's behind the realm. So that is the Nicoletta Seesole deck. Very beautiful deck if you like the, down the rabbit hole kind of theme. The next one I have is the Amy Brown Fairy Wisdom deck. For those of you who know Amy Brown, she's a very famous illustrator of fairies, and I happen to love Amy Brown's artwork and fairies, so it kind of ties into both of them. I do not like the back of the card because it is very commercialized for Amy Brown, and the cardstock itself is very flimsy. It would not stand a lot of wear and tear. But as with Amy Brown artwork, I absolutely think they're beautiful. They're very colorful, they're very fantasy, fairy realm, dragons, they're very earthy, and I'm an earthy girl, so, I like it. I believe in fairies. I don't necessarily interact with them very much because they are tricky. But I do leave offerings. I rather have a good working relationship with them than be on their bad side. But, the artwork is like typical Amy Brown. And it has a lot of cards to be considered an oracle deck. So I think you would use it like an oracle deck, not like a tarot deck, because the cards are more, painting poppies or adoration, they're kind of oracle style. I happen to love the book. It's a hardbound book. It'll withstand lots of wear and tear. It's very beautiful blue, and Amy Brown, of course, is all over it. The pages themselves, the description of the card fills a whole page. It's very illustrated and detailed. It shows the entire picture of the card that it's trying to explain, give instructions for. The bad thing about this book is none of the pictures, none of the artwork is in color. It's all black and white illustrations. It's still a beautiful book, a very wonderfully put together, wonderfully decorated, very thought out book. It's just, I would prefer it in color, but you know, it is what it is. So that is the Amy Brown Fairy Wisdom deck. Last but not least is my personal favorite, one of my personal favorites. I have a couple. This deck sits on my altar at all times. I do not use it for readings except if I'm working on a particular spell, some sort of craft work, you know, something magical, and I need an answer or a direction on which to go. I would use this deck. It sits on my altar, and on top of it, well, I have a fire agate stone. My fire agate is a personal power stone to me. It enhances my magic and my moods. So that is why it stays on my altar on top of my deck. It is the Tarot Nefertari deck, and once again, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please forgive me. It is Egyptian style deck. My particular Parthenon is Egyptian-esque, so to speak. I don't follow 100% the Egyptian mythology. I take pieces and parts that resonate more with me and my eclectic style. And of course, like all decks, a lot of decks, it comes with the little flimsy booklet, so you have to rely on your own intuition. The back of the deck has a nice depiction of the Eye of Horus, which I have tattooed on the back of my neck for spiritual reasons. But what makes this deck so amazing is the artwork. It is done with gold leafing in the back of the depictions. Absolutely beautiful. It draws you into the picture, to the card itself. I think I was a raven or a crow in a past life, maybe a raccoon, because I absolutely love glittery, shiny, sparkly things. And this card just happens to scream sparkly and attraction to me. The artwork is typical depictions of reliefs and cartouche drawings that are, you know, related to Egyptian and, you know, everything you find in Egypt. And they're just they're very beautiful and very amazing. And I just happened, this is one of my favorite Egyptian decks. And I have, you know, I've seen a few. I have one other Egyptian deck, but this one, hands down, is the best one. Just beautiful and shiny and glittery and gold. So that is the Tarot Nefertari. And that is it for today. I think I have one more tarot reveal left of the rest of my tarot decks, and then I will begin the sequence of oracle decks, which are very few. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, or even if you have any experiences with these particular decks yourself, please feel free to leave me a comment or a story down at the bottom in the comment box. I would love to read about them, and I do try to answer all your questions as fast as possible. So thank you for listening to me drone on and on about my tarot decks once again. So have a wonderful day, and as always, blessed be.